got to the Holloway Fire. We were there when it started out. They had us in different divisions, and we were there for 12 days. Then we got moved to a different division. They told us that we're gonna burn out. We were in grass and sagebrush. It was pretty tall. We did a burnout. It went well. We went about a couple miles. Suddenly the wind started picking up on top of the hill, and started hearing that the fire jumped the line. Our supervisor told us all to go back to our carriers, to the safety zone. It was all black down there. That was where our safety zone was. The fire just started picking up, and all the smoke we couldn't see anymore. We were kind of staggered out. We started making our way down, but with all the smoke, we couldn't even see about 5 feet from each other, or just all the smoke started getting really thick. I told her, let's get to the engine. All of a sudden it just got dark. It got real dark and I couldn't see. I saw the lights, but after a while I couldn't see them anymore. All of a sudden I got to this one place where it was just sand, and around all I could see was rocks. There was big trees around it, and there wasn't no grass or any sagebrush within that little circle. Just little short ones, probably a foot tall. I said if it caught on fire, it would probably burn up fast. Had to do quick thinking, I guess. So I got to that little clearing, and I tried to radio in the guys. I asked them where they were, if they could yell, but I couldn't hear anything. All I heard was the fire. It was roaring, and I looked to the south, and all I could see was a big old wall of smoke going up, dark. As I stood there and listened for a while, I could hear it coming, could hear the fire coming towards me, and just getting louder every time. I just knew that I couldn't go nowhere else. Finally got in contact with the assistant soup. He asked me where I was, and if I could get out to somewhere where it had already burned, where we did our burn line, and I said no, I don't think so. I told him that I could see smoke, and all I could see was smoke all around me, and when I looked up I could only see a small circle of the sky. And I told him that I could hear the fire getting closer and closer, and it was just coming all around me. So I told him that I needed to deploy my fire shelter and I needed to do it now. So after I told him that, I took off my pack and I set it down, and I looked up again, and I saw the wall of smoke getting higher and darker. So I took out the fire shelter, and I got my I unwrapped it, and I looked one more time, and it's just so dark. I didn't have no problem unwrapping it and unfolding it. It's just like we do in the practice fire shelter. You just open it and kind of flap it around, and it'll open. And I was trying to get my radio, but apparently my radio's mic was wrapped around my shoulder strap, so I just threw my pack in and I got under. I knew that fire was coming, so through the fire shelter practice deployments, you're supposed to face the opposite of where the fire's coming from. So my legs were where the fire was coming from. I had taken my gloves off But I did not realize that I wasn't wearing my gloves till I got in the shelter. And when the fire came, I looked and I didn't have my gloves on. But I guess the panic just made I didn't know that I had taken it off. And I used my neck shroud to hold the fire shelter down. I heard the assistant soup ask me if I was okay and to keep talking to him. I did that, and I just stayed under the shelter, and it started getting really hot. Told him it's getting hot under here, and he just said it's gonna be okay, and to keep talking to him. And once I knew that someone was on the other side of that radio, I felt better that, I wasn't alone, that I could talk to somebody. It's just scary. I could feel the fire getting closer, and it just got real hot. And that my breathing, it got so hot that when I tried to take in air, all I could feel was hot air that I was breathing in, and it kind of suffocated me. So I drank my water, and it was just so suffocating that I kind of panicked, but I kept telling myself I was gonna be okay. And the only thing I could think about was to help me with my breathing was I dug a little hole in the ground. I took my neck shroud and I covered my mouth into the ground, and with the ground being cooler, it really helped with my breathing. So I just kept my mouth like that the whole time. I could hear the assistant soup calling me, but I didn't want to breathe in any more of that hot air, so I just kept quiet on the radio. But I could tell that he was kind of getting worried. It seemed like a long time, but it wasn't that long. It was still hot, but it kind of cooled down to where I can lift my face back up, and once I could breathe, I got back on the radio, and I told him I was doing okay. They said the helicopter's gonna be around your area and tell us when it's right above you. And I said okay. I could hear the helicopter, and I told them I could hear it. So it took them quite a while for them to find me. After that, it started getting hot again, and I told them that it's starting to get hot again. And they told me that there's another flame front coming, so we're gonna have to pull back. He said just hang in there, and I said okay. I just told myself to hang in there. Talking to the assistant soup just helped me to get through it. And the guys cheering me on, saying, "No, you're gonna be okay." That's what helped me get through it. It started to cool down again. And they told me they're gonna look for me again, and I was trying to shout at them, and they're shouting, but I couldn't hear anything except the fire. And they told me that another flame front was coming back. Then they had to wait it out. And I think there was about 4 flame fronts that came before they found me. So After that, they found me and got out, and the guy that found me took me to where everybody else was. They put me on the helicopter and they took me to the hospital. And I had burns on my right elbow and on my left leg and on side of my rib cage. They weren't that big, but they were about a quarter size. So they treated those burns and they sent me to the treatment center in the burn treatment center in Utah. And from there they sent me back home. A week later, I didn't feel that I had to, not work. I wanted to come to work. We all gotta face our fears, and that's just what I had to do. Because this is what I love to do. This is my job. And I told myself that I'm not gonna quit just because of this. And I'm coming back.